For my science fair project is toxic rain, acid rain, and aquatic plants. Acid rain is becoming a problem, especially in the northeast part of the U.S. In the northeast U.S., it is heavily populated and there are many cities there, which means lots of transportation. When most vehicles are moving, they emit harmful chemicals such as carbon dioxide and sulfur. These chemicals rise up into the atmosphere, then combine with water droplets, which form carbon oxides and sulfur oxides. Once those chemicals form, they combine with oxygen, carbon dioxide, and water droplets in the atmosphere. This is how acid rain is formed. It can be in any form of precipitation like rain, sleet, snow, or hail, but is most commonly seen in the form of water, which is rain. My question is, what is the effect of acid rain on the biomass root systems? My hypothesis is if the results of this experiment will show that if plants are exposed to acid rain in varying pH levels, then the plant that is exposed to the most acid rain will have the smallest biomass. First, I start by finding the initial biomass of all of my plants. After that, I fill up all 10 beakers with pebbles to the 75 milliliter mark. Then I carefully put 2 plants in. Then after the plants and pebbles are in the beakers, I fill it up with water to the 150 milliliter mark. Then I repeat those steps for all 10 beakers. After all of the beakers have the plants, water, and pebbles in them, I get them to their constant pH level and label them. After that, I put all of the beakers into a grow box and plug it in. Then I check the pH level every day to make sure it is staying constant. After the 12 days of experimentation are up, I empty as much water as possible into a bucket. After that, I take the plants out and record the biomass. Then I double bag and dispose of all plants and pebbles. After that, I clean the beakers and put them away, and then I wipe down my work area. Then I give the bucket to the designated supervisor, that way they can neutralize it. The average loss of biomass for the control group, which had a constant pH level of 6, was 0.25 grams. The average for the control group for the pH 5 group was 0.75 grams. Too many plants in the 2, 3, and 4 pH level died to have an average. My conclusion is that the hypothesis was supported. The plants that were exposed to the most acid rain had the smallest biomass and were dead by the end of the 12 days. I had to assume that all of the plants were healthy and that they had no diseases that could have affected the biomass. I had originally planned to experiment for 10 days, but the way it worked out, I actually experimented for 12 days. If I were to do this project again, I would do higher pH levels, that way the plants wouldn't die, and I would also create a more accurate representation of acid rain. I would also let the plants sit longer, that way I could have more precise results.